Welcome back to A Better Choice Homestead. My name is Kelly, and on my channel I focus on food, growing it, preparing it, and preserving it. On Sunday, I drop a video that is related to gardening or other food preservation methods. And on Tuesdays, I do a cook with me video, and those videos focus on quick, simple, healthy meals. On Fridays, I do a freeze dry video, and this is a freeze dry Friday. So today we are going to be doing beets. I have a whole bunch of pickled beets that I did, and I also have some beets that are just salted. Now this is going to be a little twist. It's not just going to be a freeze dry video. I am going to be doing both freeze dried and dehydrated beets. I am turning these into beet chips for a family member who has requested that. And we're going to see how they turn out, what the differences are between the two end products. So let me bring you down and let's get started. I'm going to be starting with the freeze dryer trays. I have 4 trays. I own the original medium Harvest Right freeze dryer. I can fit usually about 2.5 pounds or so of food on each tray. And I'm going to load up all 4 trays. I'm going to do half of the pickled beets and half of the salted beets. So we will go ahead and start with the salted beets. Now these trays I'm not going to fill up all the way because I want to make sure that I get some dehydrated as well. I really want to see the difference in the end product. I am using my nonstick tray liners in here. I did try these beets and they are really lovely. I did do a video on canning these. So I actually canned 16 pints of these, and I will use some of those in this video. These were the ones that didn't fit in the canner, so I just popped those in the refrigerator. And then these are the ones that I didn't pickle, and I just popped those in the refrigerator as well. But I will post that video up here. And if you've been here for a Freeze Dry Friday video before, you know that I'll usually fill up these trays. But again, I'm not going to do that here. This is our first run at doing beets, and I really want to see the difference in how they come out freeze dried versus dehydrated. All right, those are the unpickled beets. I'm going to stop there and just move these aside. And then we're going to get to these pickled beets. Oh, they smell really good. I can smell the spices on those. I am a little worried that these might be too spicy because flavors intensify when you freeze dry, but we'll see. I am probably going to have to dump these out. Let me dump these into a bowl. That's going to be a lot easier. So now we're going to load up 2 trays with the pickled beets. And this is just a half slice of beets. These beets were massive. All right, let me move these out of the way and we're going to load up some dehydrator trays. Okay, I'm going to fill this up with more pickled beets. This is 5 more pints. I have 4 dogs circling me right now. They love beets and they're thinking that this is for them. I do sometimes put beets in their weekly dog food that I make. If you'd like to see a video about that, I'll pop that right up here. 4 more pints opened up in this colander, so we're just going to keep loading trays. All right, I added 2 more pints to the colander here, which leaves me 5 pints of pickled beets that can go in my pantry. And we'll leave them as is. They are great in salads. They are great as a side dish, as a snack. There we go. And we're going to finish off with a couple trays of these salted beets. It's interesting that these are so much darker than the ones that we canned and pickled, or pickled and then canned. There we go. All right, let's get the freeze dryer and the dehydrator started. For the dehydrated beets, I have 7 trays filled. 5 of them are the pickled beets and 2 of them are the salted beets. I have a little thermometer here, and this is telling me that it is 38% humidity in the house today and 72 degrees. So 38% humidity is orange in this book. This is the Excaliber dehydrating book. So I need to know the humidity level, and then I come over here to beets and I find that same orange. So this is telling me 9 hours at this humidity. So we are going to cook this at 125 degrees for 9 hours. And because this is digital, I just have to push the buttons to 125 degrees and 9 hours. Then I just need to put the door on here. This is the Excaliber 9 tray, and then just push start and it's gonna work its magic, and in 9 hours we'll have beet chips. Freeze dryer is ready to go. It's gone through its cool down mode. So I just need to load the trays of beets. These are the pickled beets on the bottom, saying that for me as much as for you, and the salted beets on top. Interesting how different they are in color. Can you see that? These are much darker. With the trays loaded, all I need to do is close the door, close the drain valve, and then push continue. These should be done in, well, I was wrong last time, quite wrong, but 30 hours. I think that these will be done in about 30 hours. So I will bring you back as soon as they're ready. 25 hours, almost on the dot. Let's take a look at these. I'm going to open the pressure valve. The ice buildup is not bad at all. There's just maybe 1/8 of an inch. Very thin. These are our pickled beets, and I want to make sure that they snap. Although they do look perfectly dry. And they snap. So I think these are done. Let me test the top tray. Those are done as well. All right, I've already taken the beets out of the dehydrator, so let's go compare and taste, and I'll get these packaged up. Follow me. This is almost exactly 24 hours later, and I'm going to bring you down and show you the difference in these 2 beets, different methods in processing these 2 beets. I am surprised at how, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am surprised at how much the dehydrated beets shrunk down. So it looks and feels like there's not all that many there. Not a lot of change in the freeze-dried beets. Let's take a look together. All right, so here are our dehydrated beets. Now, the thinner ones are not quite as flexible as some of the larger ones are, but I tested these. I did test them. So these top 2 trays are the unpickled beets, and the bottom 2 trays are the pickled beets, or the bottom 4 trays are the pickled beets. I really thought that the pickled beets were going to be too strong because that was a really strong pickle. The spices were really strong in it. But honestly, the flavor on these is a lot better in my opinion than on these. So here is the unpickled beet. It's good. It tastes like fruit leather, or has the consistency of fruit leather. And it has a beet flavor. It's good, but the ones that were pickled, They don't taste pickled, but they do taste like they've been infused with something spicy and a little bit sweet. They are marvelous. I'm actually going to do more beets like this. I might actually buy another big bag, 25-pound bag, and just do these and keep these on hand as a snack. Now, as far as the freeze-dried ones go, this might be a different story. So these are the top ones. I think these are the unpickled beets. I'll tell you for sure when I taste them because I can't remember from yesterday to today. But I think the top trays were the unpickled. So I'm going to take just a little piece of that. And then I will find a relatively, these are the pickled, relatively small piece of that. So we'll try the unpickled ones first. Those are really good. They have a really good crunch to them. I'm surprised. I thought they would be more kind of styrofoamy, but they are a chip. Let's try the pickled one. Those are great too. All right, I want to try the unpickled one more time because my brain is kind of going through what I want to do in the future. So definitely want to pickle the ones that I do in the Dehydrator. And those are really good because it's more like a fruit roll-up, a fruit leather, and they're delicious. Okay, these are very good, very good. These are better. The pickled ones are better. They just have more flavor to them. They're amazing. So let's get these packaged up because I did promise to send them to somebody else. My brother lives in California. Beets are his favorite. And I grew up in California. I'm a transplant. So all of these are going to go to him, but I am definitely going to do more. So let's get these packaged up. I'm just going to mix the pickled and the unpickled together in a bag. There's not that much of a difference in flavor that I'm sure if I don't tell him that they're different, he's not going to know. He's just going to think one chip has a little bit more spice on it than another. These medium-sized bags, they just slide right into the 1 gallon. Sorry. These medium-sized trays just slide right into these 1 gallon bags. They won't if there's, more than maybe a third of the way filled with food, but I should be able to get all these in. And you saw how easy they come off the tray. That's because of that non-stick pad I have down here, which makes it nice. That way you're not breaking chips. I'm surprised they came out like chips. I was expecting, I don't know, that they would just be more styrofoamy and more fragile, but these actually have some strength to them. It's a little too full to stick the tray down in the bag now, but these pick up nice and easy. And just look at the size of these. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show you, the difference between freeze-dried and dehydrated. Here's freeze-dried. I could rehydrate that back into a pickled beet. Let's find, if we can, a good one. Here we go. And this is dehydrated. Look at the difference. They started out the same size, but dehydrating uses the heat process, which damages the cellular structure of the food. So all the tiny microscopic cells in here, they collapse in on each other. And so this will never rehydrate back to its original shape and form, whereas this would. They're both light. This is crunchy like a chip. This is more, flexible like a fruit leather. Both delicious. I would do them both again. Because sometimes you feel like something sweet and chewy, and other times you feel like eating a chip, something crunchy. I think we can get these in here. I can fit a couple more in there. Maybe a couple more. It's getting pretty full. I can close that. All right, we got them all in. I'm going to put an oxygen absorber in there in just a minute. And now I'm just going to load up the dehydrated beets. I probably did not need a bag this big because they are small. And these trays we'll just wash in the sink with soap and water. They are not dishwasher safe, but this cleans up really easy. So if you don't have a freeze dryer, but you do have a dehydrator, I highly recommend doing beets, and I highly recommend pickling them first. These are amazing. Also for the time, I think it was 8 or 9 hours that the book recommended. I ended up going 5 extra hours. These were such big slices that they needed more time. And that's why some of the smaller pieces are, you know, a little tougher than the larger pieces, but I wanted to make sure that the larger pieces actually dehydrated in the center so they wouldn't get moldy as, you know, before they got eaten. We're getting some good amounts in there. Two more trays. This is actually quite heavy. I mean, there's definitely a lot more beets in here than were on the freeze dryer trays. Okay, here's one. This is an extra thick one. I don't know if you can really see how thick that is, but I don't trust that this is fully dry. It just feels a little wet still on the outside, so I'm not gonna put that one in the bag. That's the only one I've come across. I just didn't cut it thin enough to begin with. So, dehydrated or freeze dried? They both win. They are both amazing. This is totally a fruit leather. It has a really, really good flavor to it. Again, the pickled variety versus just the salted variety has a better flavor, but they're both good. And these are a true chip. I mean, I didn't cut that one as thin as I could have. Let me show a thinner one. Here is a thinner one. So that's a pickled beet. It's an explosion of flavor in your mouth. It's amazing. These are chewy. Such a good flavor. They both win. They both win. If you have a dehydrator or if you have a freeze dryer, please pickle some beets and put them in there. Not only are they an amazing snack, an addition to your diet, but the health benefits in both of these products, you're talking about bone health, heart health, brain health, metabolism support, energy production, the synthesis of neurotransmitters in your brain. They help fight inflammation, and they have been proven to slow cancer cell growth and division. So this is a win-win. They both win. Well, I'm going to get some oxygen absorbers in those bags. If you've seen any of my other freeze dry videos, you've seen me do that. I am really tired today. It has been a really long week and a really long day. But thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope that you've been inspired to maybe go and try some beets, try your hand at dehydrating, or if you have a freeze dryer, put some in the freeze dryer as well. And my name is Kelly. You're at A Better Choice Homestead. Thank you so much for joining me. And I do hope you come back and visit again soon.